questions to ask me, you can do that after the lesson. Okay, after 9 p.m. you can stay back to ask me questions. But during the lesson, Ms. Ong can only answer 1 or 2 questions. All right, I can't answer a lot of questions, so that every one of us we can go home lah. we can go home and we can go and sleep. Right, we don't have to stay back so late. Okay, let's look at question 1. Okay, question 1. Okay, let me just have a quick check to see everybody is here. Okay, all right, come, let's start. Okay, now, so in 6.015, what is the place value of the digit 0? Now, the place value means what? Place value means you have to write in words like hundreds, thousands, tens. So you have to write in words. So if you look at the options, all right, if you look at the options, okay, hang on for a while, there are people coming in. Okay, if you look at the options, what do you see? What is the place value of the digit 0? That is the tenth. Okay, tens. All right, which is the tens. Okay, so that is the place value. That's a decimal, right? So answer number 3, tens. And then how about the digit 5? The digit 5 will be hundred. Oh, sorry, thousand. Okay, thousand. So your 0 is tens. Okay, your 0. Okay, let's revise the place value so that you understand what I'm doing. So the digit 1 is hundred. Okay, hundred. Okay, and then the digit 5, all right, digit 5, which I'm going to point there, that is your thousand. And when you see a TH, it means decimal. And the digit in front of the decimal point, that's a whole number. All right, whole number means it's a ones place. Okay, so what's your answer? Answer number 3. Okay, let's go to number 2. Find the value of 6 plus 18 divided by 3 times 2 minus 9. So what do? You do the divide first, the divide that comes first, all right? And what I will usually do is I will put the arrow sign. You can see the arrow sign there, right? And then I will write down everything else the same. Okay, so you do step by step. Then you have plus, times, and minus. So you do the times. So you have 6 plus 12 and then minus 9. Okay. And once you have plus and minus, which one do you do first? You do whichever comes first, left to right. So your plus. So 18, then you minus 9. So your answer will be 9. So answer number 2. All right, let's go to number 3. Okay, Ahmad has $2, Ben has $4. Now, highlight. All right, when you read the problem, try to highlight the keywords so that you don't make careless mistake. Later on, you will see there's a question that is very tricky. If you don't highlight, you will get tricked. So I will highlight, like Ahmad has $2, Ben has $4. So which statement is incorrect, which is wrong? So Ahmad to Ben is 2:1. All right, so what I will do is I'll write down Ahmad to Ben. All right, 2:4. And the simplest form, how do you get the simplest form? You divide by 2 and you divide by 2, you get what? 1:2, right? So Ahmad to Ben is 2:1. That's not true already, right? So the answer is actually number 1, right? Number 1. So once you get number 1, the answer ready, you don't have to look at the others, right? The others, no need to see. Okay, so answer number 1. Okay, let's go to number 4. And I think some of you have some problem doing this, right? So how do you change the minutes into hours? Very simple. You just divide by 60 to get how many hours and how many minutes. So you divide by 60, you get 1 times 60, and there's a remainder 48. So how do you change it into a fraction, which is 1 and 48 out of 60 hour? Okay, right? That's how you change into a fraction, how you change into hour. Okay, then what do you do with the fraction? Simplest form. So you divide by what? Divide by 12 and divide by 12. And you will get 4/5 hour. So what's your fraction? 1 and 4/5 hour. So answer number 4. Okay, clear? Easy? Okay, you okay? Start your video, you okay? And Wenrui, once you're back from your toilet break, you can start your video. Okay, let's go to number 5. All right, any questions so far? All right, Mr. has some time to answer 1 or 2 questions. Okay, Li Wen.
I'm not done copying.
Okay, you haven't done copying. All right, so make sure you have done already, because if you haven't done, you should not come for lesson, you should watch the video. All right, if you haven't done yet, then you watch the video after you're done. Okay, so Li Wen, which one you need to copy? Number 4. Okay, okay. Okay, Yvette, Miss Tong can't see you. Miss Tong see only the lamp, the lights. Okay, so see, pull the camera down a bit lower. Okay, Ashley, Miss Tong can't see you, Ashley. You have to pull your camera down lower. Miss Tong see your hair only, right? Your hair. And Ashley. So Ashley and Ashley, are you twins?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So make sure I can see your face so that I can know who I'm teaching. Okay, anyone done already? Okay, let's move on to the next one, question number 5. So which one of the following pairs is the base and height of the triangle? So how do you find the base and the height? You just have to look for a right angle. If you can see a right angle, right, then the base and the height is very near. The base is, this is the base, and the height is right angle to the base. So your base is AC, and one more thing, the base must always be one of the 3 sides of the triangle, right? The base has to be one of the 3 sides. So which is the base? The base cannot be this one. The base has to be one of the 3 sides. So the base will be your AC, and the height doesn't have to be one of the 3 sides. Do you understand? The height does not have to be one of the 3 sides of the triangle, but the base must be one of the 3 sides. Okay, triangle has 3 sides, so the base has to be one of them. So your base is AC and your height is BD. So answer number 2. Okay, all right, let's go on to the next one. Question number 6. Find the product of all the factors of 4. Okay, now this one, let's see if we make a mistake. Even though it looks quite simple, you need to write down the factors of 4. Start with 1 times 4. And then 2 times 2, and then no more already, right? Once there's a repeated factor, you can stop already. So what are the factors? 1 plus, you have to multiply, right? Product means you have to times. So 1 times 2, and you don't have to times 2 again, because why? Repeated factor. So anybody who take 1 times 2 and times 2 again, the answer is wrong. You should take 1 times 2 times 4. All right, these are the factors. All right, so you don't repeat the same factor. So your answer will be 8. So the product of all the factors is 8. Okay, so lesson here, you do not multiply repeated factors. If you're asked to find the sum of the factors, you also do not add the repeated factors. Okay, question 7. This is the one. This is the one. What is the value of the rhombus? So if you never read carefully, you never underline, you will think that it's a square. And then because you think it's a square, immediately you put 90 degrees. So the answer is wrong. Okay, why is it wrong? Because you didn't realize that it's a rhombus. All right, rhombus. So rhombus means what? Rhombus may not be a square, right? So what is a rhombus? Rhombus has all sides equal, similar to a square, right? And this side is 44. And then how about this side? Then you take 44 times 2 to get 88. And then the sum of angles in this isosceles triangle is 180. And you minus 88. And you get 92. So it's not 90 degrees, it's 92 degrees. Yeah, so did anybody make a mistake here? Yeah, you made a mistake, right? Some of you made a mistake, you got tricked. So you cannot assume it's a square, right? Because the question says it's a rhombus. Some of you saw it as a square, so it's not really a square. Okay, let's go on to the next one, question number 8. Okay, question number 8, hang on. Okay, Miss Ong's screen hang a little bit. Okay, we are here. Okay, so the table shows the amounts of playtime Aisha has for 3 days. So what is Aisha average playtime for the 3 days? So you have to what? You have to add all the hours together, which is 6 hours. And then you take 6 hours and divide by 3 days. You should not divide by 2 days. Some of you divide by 2 days because you thought that this one is not counted. Even though there's 0 hours, right? Even though it's 0 hours in day 1, it's still counted as 1 day. So you should take 6 hours divided by total number of days, which is 3 days, right? And you will get the average time, which is 2 hours. So answer number 2. All right, so do take note that even though day 1 is nothing, right? There's nothing for day 1, it is still counted as 1 day. So you should take the total hours and divide by total number of days, all right, including day 1. Okay, question number 9. Okay, and Carol parked her car at the car park from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Lesson here, there's a method here, the line method. So what I will do is I will put the time onto the line. Okay, 8:30 until 10:30 morning. And the first hour, so cut the first hour, which is until 9:30 a.m. And how much is that? $2.50. And then you must break up the rest of the line into 15 minutes, right? 15 minutes. Okay, now if you are quite good, you will realize that this is actually 1 hour, right? 1 hour. So 1 hour has how many 15? 1 hour has 14. 1 hour has 4 15 minutes. Okay, 1 hour there are 4 15 minutes. So if there are 4 15 minutes, then how much is 4 15 minutes? So 4 times 50 cents, right? And you get 200 cents or $2. And so how much is the car park fee? So that will be $4.50. So your answer is number 2. Clear? Easy? All right. Okay, so mark your work, check, you can mark your work and give yourself marks. Later on, you can add up the marks. This entire paper is actually quite easy. It's not that hard compared to some of the earlier paper one that you have done. This one is considered quite manageable. Now, in the morning, Dawn started her homework. Yeah, Jordan?
I'm not done copying.
Okay, haven't done copying. Okay, quick. All right, so that we don't have to stay back late. Okay, line method. All right, that's a line method. All right, any questions? Okay, so far no questions, huh? Is the lesson clear? Everybody clear? Okay. Okay, I think let's move on. Okay, anyone who need a copy, can you watch the video? All right, watch the video to catch up. All right, the lesson is recorded. Right, this lesson is recorded, so you can watch the video to catch up. All right. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, in the morning, Dawn started her homework, and that's 9:15, right? She started at 9:15 and a.m. and she completed her homework at 10:45 a.m. Okay, so how many 1/4 turn? 1/4 turn is a right angle. Okay, 1/4 turn is a right angle, and that is also how many minutes? That is also 15 minutes. So when the minute hand turn 15 minutes, that is a right angle. So from 9:15 to 10:45, how many 15 minutes? So yeah, 1 hour already, 9:15 to 10:15, right? 9:15 to 10:15, that is 1 hour, am I correct? Then 10:15 to 10:45, that is 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes. So yeah, 1 hour and 30 minutes, which is how many 15 minutes? So 1 hour, 30 minutes, that will be how many 15? Then what do? You just change into minutes, 90, right? That's 90 minutes, right? Then 90 minutes, and then what do? 90 minutes, you divide by 15, right? 15, because 15 minutes is 1/4, right? 1/4 turn is 15 minutes. So you divide by 15, you will get six 1/4 turns, right? 6 1/4 turns. So your answer is number 4, right? Okay, so what is a 1/4 turn? A 1/4 turn means 15 minutes. So there are 90 minutes later. So 90 minutes will be how many 1/4 turns? That will be 6 1/4 turns. Okay. All right. Question 11. I think some of you have can't do this one, right? So this is a decimal. That is a percentage. So how to make it easy? Change it all into fraction, right? Fraction. So 1/4. And how do you get 1/4? 0.25 is 25/100. Simplest form. 1/4. 80%. Change it into a fraction, 80/100, simplest form, which is 4/5. All right, 4/5. Okay, then what do? 1/4 of the number is 40. Okay, look up. 1/4 of the number is 40. So what is the number? The number must be 1 whole, right? The number. So the number is 1 whole, 40 times 4. So what's your number? Your number is 160, right? Okay, if your number is 160, then what is 4/5 of the number? Okay, your number has now become 1 whole again, right? It's still 1 whole, right? 1 whole, but it's 5/5 now because it's still 1 whole. 1 whole means the number. So your 1 whole is now 5/5, and that is 160, which is the same number. Then you just find what is 1/5. 160 divided by 5, that's 1/5. And so what is 4/5 of the number? So 4/5 will be 32 times 4, and that's how you get 128. So 4/5 of the number is what? 128. Okay, are you clear? Okay, oh, Wenrei so stressed. Wenrei, why are you so stressed? Huh? You put the hand on the head, like very stressed. Okay, so what is the lesson here? Now the lesson here is this, okay? The number is always 1 whole, okay? 1 whole, which is 4/4, right? And if you change it into a different fraction, right, which is what is 80% or 4/5 of the number, then that number is still 1 whole, but it has become 5/5 already. Okay, so it's still 1 whole, but different fraction, still 1 whole. Okay, Siren, question?
So can I put when I find one unit, want to find 1 unit?
Yeah.
So I put 505 equals to 160, 105 equals to 32. Can I have 160 minus 32?
160 minus 32. That's a fluke, right? 160. Oh, can. Yeah, you can do that. You can take 160 minus 32, you get 128. Also can. Yeah. Okay, all right, let's move on to question 12. Okay, question 12, an object was moved south and then in the northwest direction. So, and then it entered at point X. What was the starting point of the objects? Now, first thing you must do is to put the compass. So did you put the compass? If you never, then it's going to be very hard. All right, you may make some mistakes here. So you have northeast, and then you have a southeast, and then southwest, and then the northwest. Okay, so what was the starting point of the objects? So you have to work backwards. So how do you work backwards? You ended at point X, okay, point X. So you're going to work backwards, and you work backwards by reading backwards, okay, reading backwards. So northwest direction become southwest, right? Northwest become opposite means southeast, right? Southeast, right? So you have to work opposite direction. So you go where? You go, okay? You go southeast, all right? And then what do you do? And then you work backwards again. You read backwards, south. So opposite of south is what? North, all right? North. So you go up, north. So what do you use? Where was the starting point? The starting point is point A. Right, point A is the starting point. And how do you double check to see whether you're correct? Then you just check lah. You move south, you go south, right? Go south, and then you move northwest and enter at where? Point X. Yeah, that's how you double check. So what's the lesson here? Moving backwards. Okay, you have to work backwards using the 8-point compass. Okay, all right, let's go to number 13. Okay, number 13, and okay, I expect you to try to do this. We have done algebra questions before already, so try and do this. Now, Hella paid for an eraser that cost K cents with a $2 note. Now you cannot take $2 minus K because this is dollars, this is cents. So you have to make them the same. So how do you change the cents into dollars? You take K cents divide by 100, and that will give you dollars. So the eraser costs K over $100. Okay, that's the cost of the eraser in dollars. And then you pay, and then Hella paid with a $2 notes. And what is the change? So you minus the cost of the eraser in dollars, and that will be the change. So your answer is what? 2 minus K over 100. So what's the lesson here? When you plus and minus, you have to make them the same units, right? You have to change the cents and the dollars, make them the same, right? Make them the same before you can plus or minus them, okay? All right, let's go to question 14. Right, question 14 quickly. And okay, there were 12 chairs in each of the 15 rows in the hall. 60 more chairs were brought into the hall, and then all the chairs were arranged equally into 20 rows. And which one of the following shows the correct way to find the number of chairs in one row? Okay, what do? Do step by step. What's your first step? Your first step is to times. Take the 12 chairs, multiply by 15 rows, right? So let me just quickly use my calculator and take note of the steps. The first step is to multiply, okay, multiply. So after you multiply already, you get your how many chairs, right? Then what's the next step? The next step is to add 60 more chairs, all right? 60 more chairs, and then you get so many chairs in the end. And then what's the last step? You take all the chairs and you rearrange them equally into 20 rows. So you divide by 20. And of course, you will get what? You will get 12 chairs in one row. Okay, take note of what? Take note of the steps. What you do first? You do the times first, then the plus, then the divide. So look at number 1. Look at number 1. You do the times, right? Times. And then there's a plus and there's a divide. After you have done the times already, what should you be doing? You'll be doing the divide next, which is wrong, right? You should be doing the times first, then followed by plus, and then after that will be divide, right? But if you look at number 1, or what do you do first? You do the times first, and then later you must do the divide next, which is wrong already. Okay, clear? Okay, how about number 2? Number 2, you do the bracket, which is the times first, correct? Then later what must you do? Then you must do the divide, which is the second one to do, which is also wrong, right? So number 2 is wrong because you need to do the plus, which is the second step. How about number 3? Number 3, you do the times, yeah, the times first because it's in the bracket. Bracket must do first, and there's a bracket as well, and you must do the divide as well. So which is also wrong because The plus is the last step, which is wrong. So number 3 is wrong. Okay, look at the order. What do you do first? Right, look at number 4. You do the times. Yes, the times. Okay, and you will get 180. Then you plus 60, which is still in the bracket. And then later you divide by 20, right? So what's the next step? Next step is you do the what? Do the plus, which is the second step. And then after that, you divide. Isn't that correct? Right, so number 4 is the correct order. Understand? So that's how you study the steps to see which is the correct order to use. All right, let's go to number 15. Now, which of the following views is incorrect? So what do you do? Now, you can draw on the blank space. What is the top view? The top view will look something like this. If you draw the top view, okay, it will be something like that. All right, and then how about the side view? The side view will be over here, the side view. Okay, and then how about the front view? The front view, okay, the front view will be where? The front view will be something like that, the front view. Okay, front view. So you draw all the views, and then later what do you do? Later you compare with the answers, right? Compare with the answers to see which is not the same. Okay, let's compare. Okay, let's compare the drawing with the answers. Okay, now can you see this one, which is here? So this is correct. Okay, so this view is correct. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with this view, correct? Can you see this one, which is correct? What else? Can you see the front view? The front view over here, which is the same as number 3, right? Number 3. So your number 1 is not the same as the drawing. So number 1 is wrong. That's a wrong view already. All right, all the other views are the same as my drawing, except for number 1. Right, number 1 doesn't look the same as my drawing. Okay. All right, Ashley, got to start your video, Ashley. Right, Ashley? Yeah, your sister is, I think, Ashley, your sister is, the video is turned off. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, any questions so far? Right, no question, huh? Okay, let's move on to the open-ended questions. Okay, now, how do you convert the decimal into a fraction? This is a 3 decimal place, so you will need to write out of 1,000. All right, 3 decimal place means 3 zeros, 1,000. Okay, then simplest form, you have to do working, divide by 5. Okay, so I'm going to use my calculator to do a bit faster. So 375, you divide by 5, you will get 75. And then 1,000 divided by 5, you get 200. So keep doing, right? Keep breaking down into simplest form, right? And then you will get 15 out of 40. And then continue to divide by 5, you get 3 out of 8. So your simplest form is 3 over 8. Okay, this one is quite simple. Okay, question number 17, the average length of a dozen. Dozen means what? Dozen means 12. 12 poles is 1 meter. So what's the total length of the poles? So you take all the poles and you multiply by the average length, which is only 1 meter. That will give you the total length. That will be 12 meters. So the total length is 12 meters. All right, question 18. Question 18, there are some distractors. Okay, yeah, Wenrei, question.
Why is a dozen 12?
A dozen is a 12. A dozen. This one you must know. A dozen means 12. Okay, all right. This one need to take note. Okay, find the cost of 1.5 kg of grapes. There is a lot of things here that will distract you, which is not important. All this not important. Okay, all those things are not important. But what do you look at? You look at now. How much is now? Now 500 grams for $5.95, right? So what is 1.5 kg? Now 1.5 kg, how do you change into grams? You have to multiply by 1,000 because 1 kg is 1,000 grams. So you shift the decimal point to the right. 1, 2, and 3. Why 3 times? Because there are 3 zeros. So you add a 0 in the basket, 0 in the basket, arrowhead, decimal point on top, right? So on top the arrowhead, right, above the arrowhead, there's a decimal point. So how many grams? That'll be 1,500 grams. Okay, and do I need to find how much is 1 gram? No need. Shortcut. What's the shortcut? Times 3. Jumping method. All right, jump. Right, use a shortcut to jump. So the other side, you also times 3. Okay, all right. So I'm going to skip the working out because I think everyone knows how to multiply. So $5.95 times 3, that will give you $17.85. Okay, so that's the cost of 1.5 kg of grapes. Any question? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, Mr. need to double check to see whether whether everything is correct. So I have the answer key in front of me, just to make sure that we are doing correctly. Okay, next one. Question 19, 1 mark, but some of you may get stuck. What is 1 meter square? Now, 1 meter square means 1 meter times 1 meter equal 1 meter square. Okay, some of you don't know what is 1 meter square, right? What is that? 1 meter times 1 meter square, which is area, talking about area. So what is 1 meter? 100 cm times 100 cm. That will give you how many cm square? So you multiply 1 times 1. And how many zeros do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many centimeters square? That must be 10,000. So you have 10,000 centimeter square. Okay. All right, question 20, algebra. So by now you should know how to do, don't leave it blank, right? If you have left it blank, the next time try to do it. So you circle, right? Circle the groups, okay? Circle the groups, and then it will be easier for you to work out. For example, 7G, circle, minus 3, circle, plus 9Y, circle, plus 10, and minus 6Y. Now, why do you circle? So that you can put them together, put the groups with the same kind together. 7Y put together with the same kind, all right? And put the Y's together, put all the Y's together. And then the whole number, all right, the whole number, you can put them together as well. Something like that, okay? All right, then it's easier to plus already. 7Y plus 9Y is 16Y, 16Y minus 6Y, 10Y, okay, 10Y. Okay, then how about the minus 3 plus 10? The minus 3 plus 10, you can rearrange them. You can put the plus 10 in front and then the minus 3 behind. And then you will get 10Y plus 7. Okay? Yeah, so you circle the groups and then you rearrange them. And then you will find that it's a little easier to find the answer. Okay? All right, let's go to the, okay, yeah, Caleb, question?
Is it okay if I put 10y minus 3 plus 10?
Oh, cannot, because it's still not simplest form. It's still not simplified. Yeah, you can still continue to get the answer. Okay, let's move on to the 2-mark question. Okay, this is the one that okay, did anyone put, okay, anyone got the answer, which is you're supposed to find the smallest 7-digit number. You can't start with 0, you start with 1. Okay, and then you put back then you put the 0, and then from smallest to biggest digit, and then 4, and then 6, right? And then 7 and 8. And then you put down this as the answer because you thought that 8 can divide by 4. Yeah, you're right. 8 can divide by 4. But unluckily, the whole number cannot divide by 4. If you take your calculator and you divide by 4, you get a decimal. Yeah, so there's a problem here. So how to do this, right? How do you know whether it can divide by 4? Then you try to do what? You try to look at the last 2 digits. Can you change the last 2 digits so that the last 2 digits can divide by 4? So how do you change it? So how do you change the last 2 digits to become divisible by 4? Okay, then this is what you do. You take 1, 0, 2, okay, and you still want the smallest number. Okay, then how? Then you take 1, 0, 2, then 4. Okay, 4 still there, and 78 cannot divide by 4. Then what do? You change place with 6. Okay, 78 cannot divide by 4, right? So you change place with 6, and then what happened? You have 7, 6, 8, and then you check this last 2 digits. Can you divide by 4? Yeah, 68 can divide by 4. 68 divide by 4, you get 17. All right, and how do you double confirm, double check whether your answer is correct? Then you do your dividing. Take the whole number, take everything, and then you can divide by 4. See whether the whole thing is divisible by 4. And the answer is yes. Okay, so that's your number. Okay, so this one, those of you who put the first answer, the first number as the answer, that's is not correct. Because why? Because it's still not divisible by 4. Right? Clear so far? Understand what I'm talking about? Okay. All right. Suren, question, Suren? Any question? No question, huh? Okay, then let's move on already. Make sure that you understand what I'm doing. Okay, what fraction of the square is shaded? Now, this picture is not very clear. Okay, it's not very clear. But I think this triangle's shaded. These triangles also shaded, right? Okay, let me just look at my answer key and see. I think okay, if I'm not wrong, okay, because the answer key is actually what? The answer key put down as 3/4. 3/4 is the answer, right, in the answer key. So if you look at the shaded parts, right, how many parts are shaded? That will be 6 out of total 8. And of course, you get 3/4 lah, 3/4 shaded. Okay, but if you didn't get the answer correct, never mind, because the shading is not very clear. So it's okay, right? So if your answer is not the same, never mind. Okay, shading is not very clear. Okay, let's go to number 23. Okay, this one, everybody must take note. Make sure you understand how to get percentage degrees. We have talked about this many times already. So you have to write your fraction, right? So what's the degrees? From 50 become 40, there's a degrees of 10. And what's the denominator? The denominator is where you start from. What number do you start first before you decrease? You start with 50 first, right? And then make the denominator into 100. So you times 2, and then 10 times 2 will be 20 out of 100. And once your denominator is 100, then that will be 20% degrees. Okay, so you must be very good now at getting percentage decrease, percentage increase, and also percentage discount. So how do you get all these percentages? Right, as a fraction. Okay, let's go to number 24. Okay, the figure is made of a circle and a square. Find the unshaded area. So lesson here, take away method. What's the method? Take away method. So you find the entire square. So the entire square is 2 cm times 2 cm, and you get the square area. Okay, what's the circle area? All right, look at the diameter. The diameter is 2 cm. You cut it into half. That will be 1 cm, which is the radius. To find the circle area, always write your formula. Okay, like those of you in my class, right? You always write the formula first. So what is pi r squared? Leave your answer in terms of pi. So just put pi in your steps. And what's the radius? 1 cm times 1 cm. So 1 times 1 is still 1. 1 times pi is still pi. So the circle area is pi cm squared. Okay, that is the circle area. So how do you get the unshaded? You take the square minus circle, and that's how you get the unshaded. Okay, the square minus the circle. All right, Karina, understand, Karina? Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, question 25. Wow, this is quite fast, huh? Yeah. Okay, yeah, Caleb, question?
Can you just put can you put 4 cm square minus pi?
Huh? Very weird, right?
Like you put inside the
you cannot don't put like that. This is not the don't do that, don't do that. Because why? Put the units, all right, put the unit, bracket the answer first, bracket the answer, and then put the unit outside the bracket. That's why if you remember, Ms. Tong taught you in the earlier months, right? Whatever answer we get in our algebra, we always put the bracket first so that the unit is always outside, okay, not inside. Okay, all right, I think we can okay, I think we can end the lesson quite early today. This paper is actually quite easy lah, quite easy. Okay, now in the square grid, join a dots to line AB to form an acute angle. You can see there are 5 dots there. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Acute angle means less than 90. Okay, now lesson here. This is a dot. Yes, correct. That's a dot, right? But you need to have a straight line. If it's freehand, your line is curvy, crooked, minus marks. All right, you need to have straight lines. Use a ruler to draw a straight line, and you get your full marks already. Okay, and you also need to label A, B, C. Yeah. Okay, and you get your 2 marks easily. Okay, question 26. Now, the average score of a number of games played is 13. The sum of all the score is 52. So how many games were played? Now, if you don't know how to do, right? Some of you don't know how to do. What's the lesson here? You draw your average model, right? This rectangle is the total score of all the games, right? Total score of all the games. And do we know how many games? We don't know, right? But we know that the sum of all the score is 52. And we don't know how many games are there. So you cut the first box and the last box, which is the first game and the last game. And there's a dotted line in between. All right, this is called average model, or you call it the division model, right? Primary 3, division model. Primary 5, I call it average model. Okay, so what is the average? The average score of every game, right, is 13, right? 13. So how many boxes do I cut? Which is how many games? So you take 52 and you divide by 13. You have to cut the rectangle into 4 boxes. So there are 4 games, right? 4 games. Okay, so answer 4. Okay, let's go to 27, right? 27. Okay, this one can look quite confusing because there's a fraction, there's a 2 kg there. Irvin used 1/4 of a 2 kg pack of flour to make some cupcakes. Yeah, Wenrei, you raise your hand, Wenrei.
I have not copied finish.
Okay, you haven't copied yet. Okay, since we got some time, so okay, let's come back and let you copy down. Okay, now the next paper one that I'm going to send to you, I will make it quite hard. Okay, I will choose a harder one. Actually, Miss Tong choose randomly. All this paper one, I didn't really look at it. I just randomly sent to you the paper one. But next week paper one, I will choose a paper one that's a little harder. All right, because you need to do the hard questions. All right, not all the. All right, if it's too easy, there's no challenge, right? Too easy. Okay, done already, Wenrei? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, question 27. So this paper one, I think let's hope we can get at least 35 and above, right? At least 35 and above, that'll be good. Okay, Irvin used 1/4 of a 2 kg pack of flour, and he made some dough with 2/5 of the remainder flour. Now, when there are fractions, what's the method? Model drawing. So I would like to draw a model. All right, those who don't know how to do, you have to use model. All right, and you draw a rectangle cut into 4 boxes because the fraction is talking about the flour, which is how heavy, which is 2 kg. All right, 2 kg. Okay, and he used 1/4 label cupcakes. Okay, and you also must label the last 3 boxes. Every part of the model you got to label, right? So this is your remainder or the remaining flour. Okay, then what did he do with the remainder flour? He made some dough with 2/5 of the remainder flour. So you will need to cut the remainder into what? 5 boxes, but you can't do that. So you have to drop down the remainder flour and cut it into 5. Okay, that's why you have to drop down because you cannot cut into 5 boxes. So you drop down a rectangle and you cut into 5 boxes. And he make some dough, right? Make some dough. Okay, dough. Okay, and then what do you call the rest of this remainder? You give your own label, which is the left. Okay, so how much flour was used to make the dough? Then your question mark is over here. Yeah, you should by now be able to draw this model already. Okay, then how to do? Well, you can make all the boxes equal, or you can change this into 2,000 grams. All right, 2,000 grams. Then you divide by 4 big boxes, right? 4 big boxes. That will be 500 inside. And then how much is the remainder? The remainder is 500 times 3, right? 500 times 3, which is 1,500 grams. And then divide by 5 small boxes. That will be 300 grams inside every box, right? Okay. So how much flour did she use to make the dough? 300 times 2, that will be 600 grams, right? Okay, if it's 600 grams, you will need to change it to kilogram because the unit is kilogram. So how do you change it to kilogram? You take 600 and you divide by 1,000. Okay, 1,000. And how to divide? You have to create a decimal point, right? Create a decimal point. Okay, and then shift the decimal point to the left 3 times because there are 3 zeros. So 1, 2, and 3. And the decimal point is above the arrowhead and the 0 in front. So how much flour was used to make the dough? 0.6 kilogram. Okay, some of you you use fractions to work out the answer. Also can, right? Also can. Yeah, Alistair. Yeah, Alistair.
Never mind.
Okay, next person. Wenrei.
Can't every single 1 unit on top be 5 units?
Can also. All right. Okay, like what Wenrei say is Wenrei say something like can I put 5 unit? 5 unit also can. Yeah, that is important. This is also important because it can also help you to do the harder questions. So you can also do that. Yeah, you can also do that. Yeah, same. You can also do that. Understand? Yeah, so there are 2 ways of getting the answer. Mr. Long did the first way, Wenrei gave the second way. So you have 2 ways, right? 2 ways of doing this. Okay, let's go on to question number 28. Right, so far not hard. All the questions are quite. If you're in Tao Nan school, I think you have done quite well for this paper already. Okay, question 28 is the one. It's the one that you don't know how to do, right? But again, whatever you are tested, you have learn, right? Your teacher has taught you already. Like, how do you find the greatest possible difference between the length of rope X and rope Y, right? And the actual length of rope X and rope Y are in 2 decimal place. When rounded to the nearest meter, their length are each 10 meter long when rounded to the nearest meter. So what is the greatest possible difference between the length of rope X and rope Y? You must take the biggest length minus the smallest length, right? The biggest possible length minus the smallest possible length. Now, you have learned already, right? In P5. So when you rounded to the nearest meter, right? The lengths are 10 meter, right? 10 meter. So what do? You find the first number, which is 9 meter, and the third number, which is 11 meter. And then you tell Mr. Ong whether you have learned this. Cut it in the middle. What's in between? That will be 9.5 meter. And this will be 10.5 meter. Am I correct? So you look at this number line. What is the greatest possible number when rounded off to the into decimal place, right? The actual length are into decimal place, right? So what do? You have to, okay, let me just change it to 2 decimal place, where, okay, let me just hang on for a while. Let me just change the whole number into 2 decimal place, okay, 2 decimal place. Okay, give me a while first. Okay, let me just put this one, 9.5. Okay, so this is 10, right? 10. Okay, so when you round up to the nearest meter, their length are each 10 meter. Okay, so let's put 10.00. This is 9.00. This will be 11.00. What's in the middle? The middle will be 9.50 and 10.50. Okay, yeah, so we got something like that. So look at the number line. What is the greatest possible difference when you minus, right? Right, what's the greatest possible difference between these 2 lengths? And the two rope, right? When you round off to the nearest meter, their length are each 10 meter, right? So what is the greatest possible difference? So can you find the biggest number? When you round off, you get this. Okay, what is the biggest possible number? The biggest possible number is 10.49. This is your biggest actual length. Okay, and when you round this to the nearest meter, that'll be 10 meter. Okay, when you round this biggest number to the nearest meter, that'll be 10 meter already. Am I correct? Then what is the smallest? What's the smallest actual length? The smallest actual length will be this one. This is your smallest actual length. So when you round this to the nearest meter, it's also 10 meter. What is nearest meter? Nearest meter means nearest whole number. Okay, nearest whole number, right? So the nearest whole number is 10. Okay, that's your nearest whole number. Okay. So I got the biggest, I got the smallest, then what's the greatest possible difference? You take 10.49 minus 9.5. Okay, to get the greatest possible length. Okay, I'm gonna use my calculator so we can do a bit faster. So 10.49 minus 9.5, if you do your subtraction carefully, the greatest possible length will be 0.99 meter. That's the greatest possible length. Okay, for those who are not sure how to minus, all right, so you will need to do something like this. Put a 0 in the blank space, and then you minus, right? 9 minus 0. 4 cannot minus, so you borrow, all right, borrow, and borrow from 1 because 0 cannot minus 9. So 1 becomes 0. I think you know how to do all this. I will just run through quickly. Okay, so this will be 9, 14. So that's how you get 0.99. Okay, all right, Mr. is going through this very simple subtraction. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, question 29. Okay, now it gets a bit harder as we come to the last few questions. PQRS is a rectangle. The area of triangle QRS is 14 cm square. So where is your QRS? Okay, can you take away Karina, take away the highlight. Don't annotate on the screen. Okay, Karina, can you remove the annotation? Okay, so the area of triangle QRS is what? 14 centimeters square. And PQ is 7 cm. Where's your PQ? Over here, 7 cm, right? What is the height of triangle? Find the height of PQT. PQT. Okay, how do you find the height of PQT? All right, now look carefully. Now, if you look at PQT, where is PQT? Which is a triangle that is not right angle. This triangle is not a right angle triangle. But can you draw into a right angle triangle? Remember that there's a lesson where how do you draw a right angle triangle that has the same area as this triangle. So how do you draw a right angle triangle? You draw the same base. Okay, same base. And where's the height? The height is actually here, right? The height. Okay, the height. This is the height. But instead of drawing the height over on the left side, you draw the height here to form a right angle. And then what happened? You can see that the red shaded triangle is the same area as the right angle triangle that you see. Same area. Why same area? Because both the red and the blue, they have the same base and the same height. So they are the same area. So can we find the height of triangle PQT? So how do you find the height of triangle PQT? Which is what? Which is also 14 centimeters square. How do you know it's 14 centimeters square? Because the right angle triangle is inside what? It's inside a rectangle, which is made of two similar right angle triangles. Can you see that? So this rectangle is made of two similar right angle triangles. So they have the same area. Okay, so what is the height of this PQT? Then half times base, which is your 7, and the height, which is what we want to find, and that gives you the area. Okay, the area. So can you find the question mark already? How to find the question mark? So what do? You can take half times 7. Well, okay, so how do you do? Half times 7 times what equal 14? So you can take 14 divided by 7 is 2, right? 14 divided by 7, work backwards is 2, and then 2 times what? 2 times 2 is 4, right? So you can do some guess and check. If you don't know what number is that, do some simple guess and check, right? So what's the height? The height is 4 cm, right? Half times 7 times 4 is equal to 14 cm. So what's the height? The height 4 cm. Okay. Any question? Any question? Okay, Raphael. Anyone raise hand? Okay. Yeah, Raphael.
Can we do it as 14 times 2 equals 28, 28 divided by 7?
Also can. Raphael said something, okay, if let's say you don't know how to get the height, right, then you do some guess and check. Is it times half times 7 times 2, half times 7 times 3, times 4, times 5? Or what Raphael said is, Raphael said that you can take 14 times 2, also can, and you get 28, all right? And then 28 divided by 7 equal 4, also can. Right, also same. Okay, but I think this way of doing, I think not many people know how to do, right? Then what you can do is you can do some guess and check, which is what Mr. Ong did earlier on. Do some guess and check. Half times 7 times what equal 14. The numbers are very small, so you can just put any number there to see whether is it correct. Okay, Wenrei, question, Wenrei.
I haven't copy finished the 28.
Sorry, say again.
I have not copy finished 28.
Okay, can you watch the video or later Wenrei, you stay back after the lesson, okay? Then you copy after the lesson. Okay, last question already. All right, last question already. So question 29 is the harder one. Okay, it's the harder one. So do prepare that even though the paper one is quite easy, but you will still have a few questions that are a little hard. Okay, question 30, rhombus. EFGH is a rhombus. So where's the rhombus? So you will need to recognize the rhombus. And again, it's not a square. It may look like a square, but you cannot assume it's a square. What do you know about rhombus? Rhombus have all equal sides, and they also have lines that are parallel. Okay, yeah, okay. So this is your rhombus, and rhombus is cut into what? Two isosceles triangle. So what is so special about rhombus? You can cut it into two isosceles triangles, and they are and whenever you see rhombus, take note, it's symmetric. It is symmetric. Okay, rhombus is symmetric. Very important. Symmetric means what? Both sides are the same. Okay, they are exactly the same. Okay, then what do you do next? Put the question mark. Where is your FGH? So your FGH is where? FGH over here. Okay, then don't care about the question mark. Look for other angles. Can you see there's a right angle here? So that is 90, right? 90. Okay, so can I find this angle here? So how do you find that right angle? So you take angle on the straight line, which is where? Which is here. Angle on the straight line, 180, and you minus 40, minus 90, and you minus 30. And I think you get how many? You get 20, right? And whatever numbers you have found, you have to put it inside. Okay, 20 degrees. Okay, got it? All right. And what do you know about rhombus? Okay, rhombus, you know that it is made of two isosceles triangle, right? So this side and this side the same. So this angle and this whole angle is the same. So what is the angle? Which is 50, right? 50. Clear so far? Okay. And can we find this angle already? Yeah. So how do you find the angle on top? You take 180, sum of angles in the isosceles triangle, minus 50, and you get 80 degrees. Whatever numbers you found, put it inside. And opposite angles in the rhombus are equal. So your question mark is 80 degrees. Okay. Wow, today the first time that we did quite fast. All right, this is the first time we ended at about 8:50. Right, usually it's about 9:05, 9:10. So you can see that the paper one is actually not very hard. Right, if you can end a bit earlier, it means that it's quite easy already. Okay, any questions? All right, any questions for the lesson today? It's a very short lesson. It's simple lesson. All right. If you have any questions, stay back. All right, stay back after the lesson, and then Mr. will answer your question. Right. So otherwise, I think you can have an early rest. Okay, early rest. Okay. So Anson, come in a bit late. Come in a bit earlier next time because you missed the first part. All right. Yeah. Okay. So those who have no questions, I'll see you the next Monday. Okay. Those who need to ask questions, you stay back. Okay. All right. So Wenrei, what question you need to copy down?
28.
Okay, question 28. So let's look at question 28. Okay, and okay, can see. Okay, and don't annotate. Okay, you annotate, then the whole screen become blurry already, become confusing. Okay, the rest of you, any question? Jordan, Ashlyn, where's your sister? Sister gone already. Okay, but Ashlyn, do you understand the lesson, Ashlyn? Yeah. Okay. Okay. How about Janelle? Got question? All right, there's no question, you can go back already, right? You can go and sleep already, right? Have a good rest tomorrow for school tomorrow. Okay, no need to stay behind if you have no questions. Okay, Zening, right? Zening, yeah. Any questions, Zening? Okay, then Mr. Ong will see you next Monday. All right, next Monday. Caleb.
For question 19.
Question 19. Okay, Ashlyn and Ashley, right? Ashlyn and Ashley. Okay, Mr. will see you next Monday, okay? Yeah. All right, so see you next week. And then Caleb, what's your question? Question 19, is it?
Yeah, question 19.
Okay, question 19. So Wenrei, have you copied down already, Wenrei?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's look at question 19. So those who want to look at question 19, you can stay behind. Okay, question 19. Question 19 is what? Question 19. Question 19 is what's that? Okay, is it this one? Yeah. What's the question?
Is it okay if you put 1 times m times n?
1 times m times n, but it looks weird, right? You cannot, you can't do that. You can't do that. Yeah, it looks weird. That's algebra.
Because it'll be meter square, right? So.
Okay, meter square means what? Meter square means what? Meter square means what? 1 meter times 1 meter, right? Remember your primary tree square area, remember? So every side of the square is the same. So what is the area? Length times length. 1 meter times 1 meter is 1 meter square. Same, right?
Oh, okay.
So you have to write 1 meter times 1 meter equal 1 meter square. And what is 1 meter? 1 meter is 100 cm. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's actually your primary tree lesson. Okay, next one. Any more question? Okay, how about Zening? No question? Why you always put the head on the hand on the head? Very stressed also. Okay, there's no question, then have a good rest. I'll see you the next Monday, okay? Yeah, so goodbye, have a good rest. See you next Monday. Right, goodbye. Bye-bye.